everyone, and welcome to Museums Under the Spotlight. I'm Alina Dima, your host, and today we will feel like Alice in Wonderland as we will go down the rabbit hole in a fantasy-like place that will stimulate all our senses. The world of senses is absolutely magical. Sometimes it is even inexplicable. And I have found an extraordinary place that will definitely give us a senses-based experience. Today we will learn a lot about perception, sound vibrations, touch, smell, and even science at the Museum of Senses, a mysterious place hidden in the heart of Bucharest.
When was the last time that you experienced something for the first time? Be ready to embark in a unique adventure that will challenge your senses, even those you never knew you had. We will experience an environment where nothing around you is as it seems. So, are you ready to start?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, today we are going to enter the interesting and fascinating world of our senses. And of course, I guess we can definitely question whether our reality is an illusion or not. Today we visit the Museum of Senses, of course, and together with our host we are going to discover all the wonders that are hidden inside these mirrors, as you can see. Hello Bogdan, and thank you so much for having us here today.
You're welcome.
It's truly an unconventional space that you have here, so I guess that we are going to discover a lot of interesting things today.
Welcome to Museum of Senses, first of all. We are happy to have you here. Museum of Senses Bucharest opened on 8 December 2017, and since then, in less than 4.5 months, more than 50,000 people have visited it. The project was born as an initiative of a Romanian entrepreneur as a desire to create a new place in Bucharest, an unconventional one. In Museum of Senses, you will wake up your senses.
It truly resembles a journey, the experience of being at the Museum of Senses. And of course, I guess for many, either big children or small children, this space would remind them of all the fairy tales they have read during the years. Of course, in my memory, for example, there is a certain feeling that I'm like in Alice in Wonderland. By entering labyrinths and being overwhelmed by everything that surrounds us, of course, the world of mirrors. It's a mysterious world. People even say that mirrors could actually be some sort of portals to other dimensions, maybe to a spiritual world. So this is why the Museum of Senses definitely gives you a complete experience. Of course, we all know that we have 5 senses, but other than that, I guess that everyone here can discover even more than 5 senses. So tell me more about the experience here.
Yes, and what is very important is that they can test it. So test them. So here in this room we have mirrors. We have another 11 rooms which we'll discover together with our guides, and as you said before, it can be a wonderland, and in the same time is very unnatural, and in the same time is very, very rational.
First of all, I would like to emphasize something, and that is the fact that the Museum of Senses is actually the only one in Romania. And it's a very interesting concept, but I would like to know, where did the concept actually come from initially?
We have a Museum of Senses in Prague in this moment, and a Museum of Illusions in Slovenia, in Ljubljana. Museum of Senses Bucharest is the first one realized on this concept in Romania, and soon we will have Museum of Senses in other major cities from the country.
We will all let ourselves go during an experience that will fully challenge our body and mind. This museum is home to an experience that will awaken our senses and inspire everyone to discover more and therefore to feel more. We invite all of you to live an unimaginable experience in a world of sensations and mind-blowing optical illusions. The Museum of Senses is a place as fun as it is educational, as amazing as it is enigmatic, and as crazy as it is irrational. So, let the fun begin.
So we had a few tips and tricks about what happens here at the Museum of Senses, but we have to experience everything because senses are not random, they don't just happen. So let's see the wonder and experience the wonder of the Museum of Senses. And we're going to start the guided tour, just as it is for every visitor. Hey, thank you
Hello.
for being here with us, and thank
My
you
pleasure.
for being our guide today, so we don't get lost in the senses.
Of course, you won't get lost. We're in the labyrinth here, in the Mirror Labyrinth. I'll help you get through it. And let's get started,
Okay, let's go.
Good.
I'm going to follow you.
please. Be careful because we have many people that actually bump into the mirrors. Okay, easy, and we're through. Now we are going into a street from Bucharest. You can see all the graffiti on the walls. Our colleagues made a big effort to create all of this. It took a
So
long
they are
time.
made by professional artists
Correct,
and
yes.
architects, etc. It's actually pretty impressive to come from the labyrinth that gives you the impression of infinity
Yes, yes.
into a narrow street, urban style, of course, because it's full of graffiti, and then you have a kaleidoscope here.
That's right. We like to test our visitors and test actually their senses. As you said, you feel like if you're claustrophobic, then there's a big difference from the mirrors where you think you have enough space and then you come here. After this alley, we have to be careful because we're going into the street. So we have to be careful at cars.
Okay.
We also have a light
So
stop there.
we're crossing on the zebra.
Exactly,
Okay,
yes.
so still graffiti and everything.
Good. As you can see, we try to tell our visitors that senses are very important, and a message that we like to give to them is never lose your sense of wonder.
Exactly, because life is wonderful.
Correct.
And you feel it through your senses. So as good as you know your senses, the better your life gets.
You can say that as well. Good. Now from the street where there's pollution, noise, we get here into the forest, into our magic forest. You can hear the birds singing, and if you look closely
And
there,
there's a source of water.
the
of
magic
course.
starts. We
It's
have a
natural
faucet.
for a
and
forest.
It has a trick. If you look closely, it's not attached to anything, but that's the first impression. What happens? In the bucket, there's a water pump that pushes the water up through a transparent tube. It's exactly in the middle of the water. The water hits the faucet and then it comes down on the sides.
So it's like reverse gravity.
Something like that.
Pardon my ignorance, but I'm just saying whatever comes to my head. So
No worries. I'll go here, and so you can see better. There is a tube in the middle here, right?
Okay.
So indeed, there's water, so you can sense it. Good. Shall we go further?
Of course, and we're going to step into the dark, right?
Correct.
From the forest, where the environment is definitely calm and nice, but the lights are very low, we're going to step into another room, which is even darker. Let's
Correct.
see what happens there.
Let's go. Let's get more into the scientific part of the museum. Here we have some Tesla coils. Inside them there is electricity. In this state, it's also called plasma, if you ever heard of it. Well, this is plasma. Inside there's a special gas that makes this possible. As you can see, when you touch a Tesla coil, an electric arc is formed and you can drag it wherever you want and play with it. Also,
Yeah, this actually can make everyone feel like a kid because everyone has the tendency to play with the Tesla coil and maybe ignore the scientific part of this situation here. But we should emphasize the fact that science is important in our lives.
Very, very important. I can show you a trick as well.
Yeah, as I was about to ask you, okay, what can we experiment here? Because it's all nice and fun, but
we can,
from a scientific perspective, something needs to happen here because we're talking about electricity.
Correct. And we are charged, actually, we have electrons inside of us. And the electrons are actually not magnetized, but attract electricity. If I place a coin on the Tesla coil, you can barely see, when I touch it, a spark occurs, right? There's a metal, so it's a great conductor. Since we have electricity here, it's transmitted further to our body and creates a grounding, right? So the electricity goes into the soil. Now, this is the Tesla coil. Further, we will go to the RGB system, illumination system. We also know them as the pixels. On the TV screen, these are present all the time. It matters how we play with their intensities, right? We can obtain absolutely every color that we see on the TV. If you please, can you cover the right color there?
Okay, so it would be the green light?
Green light, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to cover it.
Perfect. And now you can see that the color changed. It's now a pink. If you try to cover also half of red, then we'll have another color.
Okay.
It depends on how we play with them. And as I've told you, we like to make a lot of experiments here. The children love it because they're starting at school to play with colors and such, and what they can do in the painting class, they can do it very easily here just by placing their hands on the projectors.
So they can do a rabbit or a dove.
Yeah.
Do you know how to make a dove? Can we make a dove?
Sure. So, like this, and as you can see, because the many colors are present there, it's more beautiful.
That's really cool, and I guess this is one of the main attractions.
This is
for the kids at least.
Yes, for the kids especially. Correct.
No introduction needed. We're already inside the vortex.
That's correct.
I'm starting to feel really dizzy.
Yes, this is the place where we test our eyes and our sense of balance. As you can feel already, everything is spinning, but in fact, just the cylinder is moving. I know that you can feel the whole bridge is moving alongside with you.
Exactly, and it's
hold
like
tight.
we're even moving backwards. It's like the whole bridge is moving, even though we are standing still, and it's only the cylinder that's moving.
That's
it actually
correct.
gives me that the impression that we are on a boat, a sailing boat.
True.
On sea during a thunderstorm.
It happens, 1 out of 10 people that come inside usually falls. It's really hard to stand here, and it depends on which side you look on. For example, if you look on the right side, you'll have the impression that you're
All of a sudden you're upside down.
Yeah. And if you look on the left side, you're starting to feel like you're falling continuously, and you're
From
on
a skyscraper.
something
So
like
if
that.
you feel suicidal, you just move to the
To
left,
the left,
side, and otherwise.
If you want to go back, you look to the right and you
Okay.
start lifting. Good. Be careful and let's.
Okay, let's see if I
pass
can
it through.
still walk straight. It's
Great.
pretty difficult to walk straight, even though we have to restate the fact that the bridge is not moving.
Exactly. A lot of kids, when they enter, are putting the exact same question: Are we moving, or is the cylinder moving? But as I clearly said, only the cylinder moves.
So this is just an illusion.
Correct.
And basically, this is the information that our brain receives. We have the impression that there is something moving, and the brain is a bit confused. It doesn't know if the body moves with its surrounding, or
That's correct.
it's something in the outside that's doing the whole
That's right. If you want to be relieved from the dizzy sensation, you just have to look into one point. Just look straight at it, and it will fade. Okay, I think we got dizzy enough to enter Dracula's room. Don't worry, he's not home. As we can see, we usually send him off because he scares the visitors.
Though it would have been nice to have a chat with him and maybe check out the weather in London, because as Bram Stoker's novel used to say, he did visit London very frequently. Of course,
Exactly.
he enjoyed Romania a lot more. I guess the Romanian blood is a lot warmer, maybe even sweeter.
I like to think so as well, as a warm person as I am myself.
So, since we are already very dizzy, now we're still upside down.
That's correct. As you can clearly see, we're standing on the ceiling. Right. If you can actually, you can take a seat there.
I would love to. Maybe I can reach that point eventually. But I guess being on the ceiling
Yes.
somehow gives me a different perspective, definitely, and it's a lot nicer to try something different every once in a while. And I'm just going to have my tea
Good.
on the ceiling.
With your bare eyes, it's usually hard to see the full effect that this room has. That's why I don't miss the occasion to tell the visitors they have to turn the pictures upside down once they take it, and the effect will be fully visible that way, right? Because your head will be towards the floor and you're sticked to the ceiling.
So you named this room Dracula's room based on the fact that he is a blood-sucking
a vampire, and we know
that the symbol of the vampire is the bat, and
Yes.
the bats live their whole lives upside down.
Yes, that is correct. Indeed, this is why we did this and tried to express it throughout this legend. Right?
So basically the whole experience in this room is somewhat supernatural, right?
Exactly.
It goes beyond illusion, actually, because
It's not actually.
it's inviting you
Yes.
inside a different reality, and maybe imagine even how Dracula used to feel, or he's still feeling. We don't know if he is still around or not.
He
Hopefully,
usually
we're not
comes-
going to meet him anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. He usually comes after 10 when we close, right? So he doesn't scare off our visitors. In this room, we still have the corners at 90 degrees. This means it's a normal room, but it was tilted at the same angle. The walls, the ceiling, and the floor at the same angle. Because of this,
You know what, just by looking at you, I lose my focus and I'm already getting dizzy. It's because of the way the room is created, of course.
exactly. It's actually a cube within a cube. This is how the room was formed. Due to the corners, two things happen. First, our eyes adjust and tells us it's a normal, straight room. But the second thing, our inner ear tells us, our balance tells us that it's not a normal room, it's tilted. And because of this, because of two opposite stimuli, we get a little bit dizzy. Our brain doesn't know what to trust, our eyesight or our balance, and this is what gives us the impression that everything is moving.
And this is how we get very confused. So maybe the best thing to do would be to just stay put.
Yes.
Or maybe try a choreography, since we have the mirror
True.
here.
If you want to be a dancer as well, you can try Michael Jackson move from Smooth Criminal. You just have to face that wall and you can bend a little bit, and you can do his iconic move from Smooth Criminal, right?
He did
The
have
lean
some
move.
special shoes to create that
Right.
illusion. We found out a lot later, but when he did the move, the whole world was in shock, of course.
Right, magic.
He was one of the masters of illusion. And talking about him in this environment would be truly appropriate. I would dare to try it too, but I don't know if I'm just gonna bump my nose into the wall. Anyway, I'm gonna try, so bear with me for a second.
Sure.
So, what I have to do is stand straight.
Stand straight, right?
Okay.
And you have to bend from your ankles, right? So all of your body has to be straight.
All right,
And just
and-
lean a bit.
Well, that's the best I can do.
I think it's good enough. Hello, little one.
Hello, big guy.
Yes, I'm a giant here, as you can see. This is Ames room, called from its inventor, Albert Ames. He was an optometrist. In 1934, he done some research, and this room came out of it. We like to call it the giants and the midgets room. As you can see,
Now I'm the midget.
you're the midget and I'm the giant. And if we switch
Okay,
places,
we switch places and see the magic.
then
Ta-da!
I will become the
Now I'm
tiny
big.
one and you will be a giant.
I am Gulliver, female version.
Good. As you can see, she is a lot taller than me. I can't reach the ceiling,
But I can.
but she can. It's all about perspective here. The room was created in such a way that everywhere you stand, you'll look on the same. You look like there's a single plane, right? Like this is actually a cube, but the room is not actually a cube, right? Where you're standing there is actually a difference of about half a meter in depth in this room.
And it's even higher.
It's
The
even
point
higher.
that I'm
that's correct.
standing. Yeah. But what happens if we meet in the middle?
If
The
we have-
illusion
it kind of
vanishes,
fades off.
right?
Yes. If I come here, as you can see, then
Okay,
the
so we're
reality starts to
basically-
appear.
This is reality, more or less.
More or less, yes. I'm still lower than you, even though you can see it on the camera. But as soon as we go further from each other, then
Okay,
the illusion starts.
the illusion
to come
starts.
back.
So the question still remains: is our world full of illusions or not?
Well, I think
I guess
that
it's for everyone to discover for themselves.
that's correct. My personal opinion is that reality is merely an illusion.
Each of our senses is an incredible piece of art, but their mixture is what fascinates us in our everyday life. We discover life through our senses. We see, hear, and feel the magic every day, and we cannot help but wonder if the reality that we perceive with our senses is the only one possible or not. It's fascinating to believe that there is even more to life than what we know, and our ultimate goal should be to never stop learning and never stop evolving. Let evolution guide you through life, just like you trust your senses.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you have enjoyed our journey through the mysterious world of our senses. And whenever you feel like you miss your childhood days and all of their fairy tales, the best idea would be to just come visit the Museum of Senses and you will be amazed. Until next time, remember to make your life a beautiful story.